Elections 2019, ANC, EFF and DA in pitched battle to win Northwest. Arguably one of the country's most hotly contested provinces, the Northwest has been claimed as the home of the African National Congress ANC and the Economic Freedom Fighters EFF in the lead-up to next month's 8 May general election. Both Cyril Ramaphosa, leader of the ANC, and Julius Malema of the EFF have crisscrossed the Platinum Province to drum up support for their parties ahead of the election day. Ramaphosa held an election blitz in most of the major towns, and Malema held closed meetings with party members in all 4 regions of the Northwest before the party manifesto launch. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, at the launch of his party manifesto in Rustenburg on March 2, said the Northwest was the home of the ANC, while Julius Malema told party supporters in Lethabong that the EFF is Northwest and Northwest is the EFF. If you do not bring a new government on May 8, people of Northwest, you will have yourselves to be blamed, because in Northwest the government of the day is rotten to the core, Malema told party members at the Northwest Manifesto launch in Lethabong, Rustenburg on March 31. However, Ramaphosa assured ANC members that the party would win Northwest. "We are not going to lose this province, Northwest. It is the home of the ANC. We are going to increase our majority. Northwest is the home of the ANC," he said. The ANC goes into the May election limping. In Northwest, it was rocked by factions that nearly costed the Rustenburg local municipality in the 2016 municipal election. Rustenburg is the only hung municipality in Northwest, which the ANC controls through a coalition with both O Community Movement (BCM), African Independent Congress (AIC), and Freedom Front Plus. Disgruntled ANC councillors voted with the opposition to unseat mayors in some municipalities, including in Matlasana, where Mayor Midu Gale was voted out, only to be reinstated after the ANC intervened. Recently, the mayor at Mamusa, Aaron Matswana, was voted out after 6 ANC councillors voted with the opposition to unseating. Another setback for the oldest liberation movement in Africa was the mass rebellion against Super Mahimapelo, the premier of the Northwest and provincial chair of the ANC. He resigned in May 2018 as the premier of Northwest after people called for him to vacate office in mass protests in the Northwest. Job Makoro replaced him in June as premier. The Provincial Executive Committee (PEC) was dissolved, and Aaron Matswana, supported by Mahimapelo, went to court arguing that the ANC in disbanding the PEC. The Northwester Bokenbok also struggled with its candidate lists, forcing the once formidable ANC to postpone its submission to just days before the January 8 statement. Despite all the problems facing the ANC in Northwest, Ramaphosa assured members the party was attending to the problems and called for unity. "The steps that we have taken, and are continuing to take in this province, both at the level of the organization and the government, are informed precisely by the seriousness with which we are self-correcting." The ANC scored 83.84% of the votes in the 2009 general election. This was before the formation of the EFF. In the 2014 election, the ANC was reduced to 67.39%, while the newly EFF managed to obtain 13.21% of the votes in Northwest on their first attempt. Opposition parties have seen the challenges the ANC faces as an opportunity to raise their own profiles and take voters from the ruling party. Democratic Alliance DA Premier candidate Joe McGrew said they wanted to reduce the ANC to below 50% of the votes. He said the DA would do better in the May 8 general election with an increased margin. "It is possible for us to reach 24% of the votes," McGrew said. Before it was 13 and 14%. It was very low, but we are very positive this time around of what is happening in the province. It is possible for us to reach 22 or 24%. In the 2014 election, the DA ranked third in Northwest with 12.73% of the votes compared to 8.70% it obtained in the 2009 election. But the DA faces its own threat from Patricia de Lille's Good Party. The former mayor of Cape Town formed the Good Party after she resigned from the DA in a lengthy public spat that captured media headlines, doing much damage to the image of the DA as a non-racial party. DA leader Musi Maimane and party's chief whip John Steenhuisen also visited Northwest to charm voters. Maimane focused on the white votes, playing down the impact of good on the DA. He described the DA as a party for all races, but Steenhuisen made it clear when he blasted the Freedom Front Plus for its law and Tareq fight back stance. He said there was no need to fight back, but to stand together. Hokanjai Tareq Slan is dar nai mensen vergadering, is nai moni Tareq Slan maar staan sam, he said in Afrikaans, which loosely translates to how can you fight back when there are no people in your meetings? Do not fight back but stand together. A good chunk of DA voters left with De Lille eating away at the gains the party made when De Lille gave it voters on a platter with the incorporation of her party, the Independent Democrats, into the DA. Although the EFF and DA are seen as the main contenders in the Northwest, smaller parties such as the African Transformation Movement (ATM), Women Forward WF and African Content Movement ACM led by charismatic former SABC Chief Operating Officer Lottie Matsoning pose a threat to their traditional votes. The ANC is in a pole position to retain control of the province, but it will be with a reduced margin. In this election, the ANC challenge is not a splinter group, but rather a rebellion within its ranks.
Let it go.